Hi, my name is RedIguana, and this is a little video I put together of a little celebratory treat helicaching trip that Moneydork and I went on Monday the 29th of October 2012. The previous week Moneydork had found his 15,000th geocache, and we were looking for ways to celebrate this. We had looked at going up to a cache called Dudd's Peak on the mountain range behind Roxburgh in central Otago. We got a fair way up the road, but we eventually came across snowdrifts that were too deep to be able to get a vehicle across it, so we laid down a geocache called Moneydork's Mr. Milestone. That was a beautiful drive, but we came back down, and then over the next couple of days we started pondering, well, what could we do to celebrate a milestone such as 15,000 cache finds. During our driving, the idea of helicaching came up, and we knew that there were about 4 terrain 5 geocaches near Queenstown that were possibly an option for helicaching. So we got up on the morning of Monday the 29th, and it was just a stunning day. It was the last day in Queenstown. We were going to be heading off that day, but the day was just too good to pass up, so we headed out to Queenstown Airport, that you can see directly below us in the photo there, and we started looking at options with various helicopter companies to see if they could fly us to a couple of cache locations. In the end, we found Heliworks, and we had a pilot, Dave. They're good priced, great operators, and Dave was awesome. He was all up for it. You can see he's got a Garmin GPS on his dash there, so we loaded in the 4 caches that we had as options and started flying out. There were 2 main options. 2 of the 4 caches were good options, and 2 of them were not. The first one we're heading to here is Extreme Ice Cream, which is up on the ridgeline of the Remarkables. Now, because of the elevation and the direct vertical climb involved, you actually see us doing a couple of spirals out to gain elevation. This is one of them here, and they just gave lovely stunning views with the mountains on one side, but a lovely view down to Lake Wakatipu and the greater Queenstown area as we spiraled around. Absolutely stunning. There wasn't a cloud in the sky, just a perfect day for it. So when we landed on the slope, on the ridge line, we had about a 225 metre walk uphill along a ridge line to the communication station, and when we got there, there was a muggle. He kindly took photos of us, but we're actually standing directly on top of the geocache there. He asked us kindly not to dig for it, so we didn't dig for it. So we weren't actually able to sign the logbook, but we contacted the cache owner, and it provided enough evidence that we'd actually got up there that he was happy for us to log the cache as a find. So that was awesome. So that was a fairly spectacular and stunning cache. We really enjoyed that one, and it was just a perfect day to do it, even though we couldn't actually log it. Then we called our helicopter back, and Dave came back and picked us up, and we headed off from the Remarkables and made our way across to Cecil Peak, across the other side of Lake Wakatipu. Over there's a cache called One Hell of a Proposal, and so we landed. This cache had been placed as part of a wedding proposal. It's a very popular spot for couples to go up and have proposals, and I think when you see the views, you can understand why. Luckily, from our perspective, it was below the snow line, so we didn't have the issue that we had with Extreme Ice Cream of it being covered by a reasonable amount of snow. But just stunning views up there. It was just a great wee trip. We had an awesome time between the 2 caches, and the awesome weather that we had that day. Here we are just on our way back into Queenstown Airport, flying down towards the Frankton Arm. We're just going over Kelvin Heights on the peninsula there. That's looking back out towards the Remarkables, where Extreme Ice Cream is. Again, that's looking out the left-hand side of the helicopter towards Queenstown proper. You can see the botanical gardens out on the peninsula there. I think that will be Skyline in the background, and to the right is heading up towards Queenstown Hill with another well-known geocache on it. Still to make my way all the way up there. Coming back down here, you'll notice there's a still shot coming up very soon, looking down at the water in the arm here, and you don't easily see the patterns and the colours when you're down on the ground, but from the air it just looks stunning. You'll see it here, and yeah, it just looks amazing. And there's a couple of shots on the way back into the airport. So I hope you enjoyed our little adventure, and thanks to HeliWorks. Here is a Google Earth map of the track log of the flight. You can see starting down the bottom left at Queenstown Airport, we flew pretty much directly south, and you can see 3 spirals that were taken to gain elevation before coming up and over the ridge of the Remarkables, around Lake Alta, and then parking up at Extreme Ice Cream. After finishing there, we then made our way directly off the ridge down over Lake Wakatipu and over to Cecil Peak. We again parked up for about 10 or 15 minutes before turning around and flying back to the airport. So I hope that gives you a better idea spatially of where the flight went. Hope you enjoyed the story, and happy caching!